What's poppin' and welcome back to Schlachheim. Today we're building a fast food restaurant called Brick Burger. We're located right next to the Schlachheim Arkaden subway station and opposite the shopping center. Schlachheim already has a small Brick Burger location in town. Even so, we need a bigger one with a drive-through and parking spaces. Let's get started. I'll begin with the drive-through in the upper corner so I don't run into space issues later on. I'll use wool blocks to sketch out my desired layout and then create a rough floor plan. This includes the guest area, the kitchen, restrooms, the freezer room, storage rooms, and a staircase to the second floor. In addition, there's an outdoor seating area for guests on the lower side of the building. Right next to that is the drive-through area where you place your order. To prevent long lines of cars and take orders faster in the city, there are 2 order terminals side by side. That's why the road splits briefly there. Next comes the front area with plenty of parking spaces. To complete the rough planning, we'll add the road connection. Now we've planned a basic entrance as well as a complete drive-through with parking spaces. For now, the main focus is on the building. First, I'm finishing the floors to start assigning a purpose to each room. On the right side of the building, you can already see the upcoming outdoor area. I've also placed parts of the wall and marked the openings for doors or gates. The first 2 rooms we'll complete will be the 2 restrooms. For this, I've placed a total of 2 toilet stalls and 2 sinks in each room. Finally, I've put up the walls to mark the area as complete for now. After the restrooms comes the room with the 2 freezer rooms, the receiving area for incoming products and more, as well as the staff room next to it and the trash cans outside. I'll start by setting up the large cold storage rooms. These will have shelves and space for carts. Finally, I'll put up the doors, the garage door, and the walls. The staff room has seats and a small kitchen with a refrigerator. Then just 2 small windows and we can move on to the outdoor area. This includes separate trash cans, small and large ones that I chiseled myself. To enclose the area, I'll put up a fence around it and we're done. Next up is the work area. That includes the kitchen, the registers, and the drive-through windows. For the drive-through windows, I built a hatch in the middle so customers can pay at the first window and receive their food at the second. Each window also has a door so staff can bring food to the car in case of problems or delays. More on that later. Next, I worked on the counter and added light blocks above it to display the menu. I'll basically divide the kitchen into 3 sections. On the left is the cash register area with an ice cream and drink machine, as well as trays for the finished products. In the middle are the grills, counters, fryers, refrigerators, and more. On the right side, there's some storage space for unchilled products. Next up is the guest area. The ground floor features numerous seating areas with 4 chairs each, as well as large display windows for a cohesive design. Between the windows, there is a door leading to the outdoor area. To the right of that is the staircase to the second floor, designed to accommodate the high volume of traffic in the city and near the shopping center. In the center is an extended wall, which serves both structural and aesthetic purposes. In front of the cash registers, there are also self-service kiosks for ordering on your own. To complete the entire ground floor, there is a gray line that extends slightly outward to emphasize the building's depth. Then we move directly onto the second floor. Here, the same wall design as on the ground floor is used. If you like the video so far and want to see more videos from Schlachheim, feel free to give it a like and subscribe. Once I'm done setting things up here, we'll finish building the wall and move on to the last major section of the building. In this part of the house, we have several rooms that serve as offices or other workspaces. The rooms are furnished with tables and chairs, as well as a refrigerator, a couch, and carpets. We also have a hallway that can be accessed via a staircase from the lower level or through a door from the upper guest area. In the middle of the floor, we have another restroom, just like the one downstairs. Finally, we'll build the walls up to the ceiling, including a few small windows. Now that the building is basically finished, it still needs more details on the walls. First, we'll start with the fence on the roof. After that, I began working on details like these ladder-like structures and trap doors beneath the windows, all finished in silver. I didn't really like the color in relation to the building, since it stood out too much. Instead, I used a stony gray to stay true to the building's color scheme. I changed this on both front sides. On the 2 rear sides, I added the same details as on the front. I then moved on to the roof to add more details, including these ventilation units and other systems. As the finishing touch, I added the Brick Burger logo with a white background to each side of the building. Now that we've finished the building, we're moving on to the outdoor area for the guests. First, I built a fence around the space. Next, I added furniture like chairs and tables. Now I'm adding some bushes and grass to create a pleasant atmosphere. Finally, I added lanterns and umbrellas, which I unfortunately didn't include until after I recorded the video. Next, we'll tackle the streets. To that end, I've built a small extra space on the left for customers who have to wait a bit longer for their order. This is so they can park there briefly without getting in the way of other guests. To better define the street and keep the cars in their lanes, I've added all these borders. To add more detail to the street, I gave the extra parking area its own texture and added signs of use to the street. Finally, I added bushes and grass to the entire wall and the streets. I continue at the parking lot. Here, I'm also adding the road edges and roadware again. In addition, I extended the paths from the Schlachheim Arkaden subway station and ran them toward the shopping center. Next, I added bushes, grass, and a large tree. Finally, I added the streetlights to ensure enough lighting at night. Before I show you how to drive through the drive-thru and what to order, we need to spruce up the outdoor area. To do that, I've fully connected the street to the restaurant as well as the sidewalk. I also added 2 trees, streetlights, and bushes with grass. Now all that was left was to build the order kiosks for the drive-thru and display the menu at the end of both streets. Just add a few finishing touches to the street and we're done. Thanks for watching and hopefully see you next time. Enjoy the following scenes.